we're gonna be, look, practice, just go like this for 10 seconds. It'll help your brain. Ready? 1, 2, 3, bigger. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Do you feel better?
No.
Oh.
I'm in a bad mood. I don't even know why, really.
No, I know why. It's because we keep having this shitty ass weather.
Yeah, I'm really tired of this. And honestly, not to be that person, but it's like I should get a discount on my property taxes.
Yes. But you know what I realized? We're going to have a very hot summer.
I hope so. I hope it's so hot that I miss this. And I don't care.
I think you'll look back in 2 months and say, fuck, it's so hot out.
Good. I love it. I love when it's so hot that like you feel like you can't breathe when you get in your car.
You know what else is hot?
What?
A glow up. You see what I did there? Do you fucking see what I did there? Holy shit. That was incredible.
All right. This girl's ready to rock.
This episode's about glow ups.
This episode's about glow ups. I think, honestly, if there was like a couple mayors of Glow Up Town, I think it would be us.
I think that I'm not the mayor quite yet, but I'm in the running.
I'm the mayor. If you've ever seen that shag photo of me.
Yeah, you are the mayor. Would you be willing to post the shag photo?
No, man. I don't know.
I just think it's part of your character arc, and here's why I think you should post a shag photo. A, you don't look like that anymore. B,
but that's why I'm worried, because people are gonna be like, how?
It's like literally like the Mia Thermopolis thing, like the Princess Diaries thing, and that's why I think it would be a great moment for people to see. Oh, wow, she did have a glow up.
But it's like, okay, so here's my problem with that. At least on TikTok. Actually, no, on both. Because on Instagram Reels, it's like a bunch of moms who are like, Botox is the devil.
No. Let me preface by saying that the shag photo that she's referring to has nothing to do with Botox. Has nothing to do with anything besides the haircut.
It's a little.
And your skin for some reason.
That's the filler.
I'm pro shag photo.
Okay, listen. Let me give you some background on the shag photo, because I will say there are a couple elements to this. Yes, there is like a decent amount of like fakeness to this glow up, right? Like I had a nose job. I think I learned how to do makeup very well.
That's not fake.
I started shaving my eyebrows and drawing them up, which I think gave me like almost like a shocking looking eye lift, but it really was just changing the way I do my eyebrows. And yeah, there is like a tinge of Botox and filler in there. But aside from that, this is really, truly, genuinely just the most god-awful haircut that maybe anybody's ever gotten in their entire life.
But also, I think that you're forgetting the fact that you're like way more confident now. I think that now you like really know yourself, and that's a difference in a glow up. But we're not getting any glow ups quite yet.
Well, we're not, but in regards to the shag photo.
Post it.
It's just important for people to know
That's so serious.
I didn't ask for this haircut. Like
you were the guinea pig.
I think that's important because I feel like people are going to look at this and be like, that was like a different phase of her life. Like, no, I didn't ask for that. Like, I wasn't like in a 70s phase.
Yeah.
I wasn't trying to look like the sixth member of the Strokes.
That is a good
I think it's important for people to know when they look at this photo that I asked for long layers. Okay, should we get into our fucking ins and outs?
Yes. I love your energy today.
Do you want to go first?
I would love to.
Also, that necklace sits perfectly on your neck. It's like the
perfect
should we
length. Talk about it for a sec?
It's so good.
Where did I get it, Rhea?
There's this cute little small POC owned business called Reliquia, and it's really cute vintage jewelry, and then also handcrafted, personally designed by me jewelry. So.
And it looks fucking stunning on the clavicle.
Sterling silver and 14 karat gold.
Just
in case you're interested. Anyways, let's get into your ins and outs.
Okay. My in is telling a little white lie to spice up everyday conversation.
Oh, yeah.
I am not for lying, but I am for white lies.
Yeah, big difference.
Yeah. Like, if, let's say, here's an example. If Rhea were to ask me, do you have like a piece of gum? And I'd be like, oh, this is my last one. I'm so sorry. And I have more pieces of gum. Like, that is for me, and that's for me only.
Yeah.
Or if I were to be like, or if Rhea were to be like, oh, I love jump roping. And I'd be like, I'm in a huge jump roping phase. I'm not in a jump roping phase, but it adds to the allure. It adds to my lore.
It's funny.
So I am pro white lies in specific settings. I don't think that you should always white lie, but I think that you should know your audience, and you should be doing the white lie for yourself more than anybody else.
I love that.
And that's my truth. So if you hear something that sounds not true, it's just a little white lie coming from me.
It's also like okay to white lie about like funny random things from your childhood.
Oh, completely.
Like, you know how like SZA is like known for like white lying about the most random shit, but like none of it is like harmful, so that people just find it funny.
Yeah, like I used to
Are you about to out a white lie right now?
Yeah. This might not be a white lie though. This is like incriminating. I don't know what was wrong with me when I was little, but I used to pretend to be a Jonas Brother on forums online. No, I shouldn't have said.
I love that actually. I genuinely love that.
I don't know which one I was. I think I would interchange, but I wanted attention. That's what it was.
That's fair.
And it didn't do anything. Like when people would be like, "Are you really the Jonas Brothers?" I would just stop responding. Like I wasn't lying. I just like wanted attention.
Part of girlhood is like lying online.
Yeah.
Everybody is like, whether it was like about their age or, you know, what
Being a Jonas Brother.
being a Jonas Brother, you know, what school they went to, whatever the case is. As long as you weren't like online bullying, I think it's fine.
Have you ever been caught lying in a white lie?
Oh, Kellen catches me in white lies all the time.
So does Ryan.
The other day, I literally, for no reason, okay, so it started because a mutual friend of ours, asked Kellen and I to go see Dune 2. And I wanted to actually go, but I was like, I haven't seen Dune 1. So,
Yeah.
like, I want to see Dune 1 before we see Dune 2. All of that is true. And then, like, a week later, Kellen and I were on a walk, and we were talking about Dune 1, and I, like, basically, like, alluded that I had seen it. Like, for no reason.
I do that. Ryan
for literally
is
no
listening
reason.
to this, smiling right now.
I did it for no reason, too. There was, like, no point in doing that. And Kellen literally was like, 4 days ago, you, like, said that you didn't want to see Dune 2 because you hadn't seen... Like, we had a whole conversation about that you wanted to see Dune 1 before you saw Dune 2. And I was like, oh, you're right.
See, I do that, but I do it because sometimes Ryan just wants to watch boy-coded movies, and I don't always want to watch a boy-coded movie. He'll be like, do you want to watch, like... Wait, name, like, a boy-coded movie.
John Wick.
Do you want to watch John Wick? And I'd be like, yeah, I've seen it, like, a couple times. Like, I don't want to watch John Wick with you. I'd actually want to watch Mean Girls with you.
I think it's important for men listening to this to know that, like, she doesn't want to watch John Wick with you.
I don't.
I had an ex once who literally made me, like, lay down and cuddle in bed with him on his phone and watch, like, a 5-minute John Wick scene of him, like, shooting bad guys on a horse in the middle of Times Square. And I remember thinking, like, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
How did I get here?
Yeah, in that moment, you're like, you can only say so many, oh my gods, you know?
Wow, that's crazy.
Like, this is fake.
John Wick does something to men.
I love that we went from white lies to John Wick. I really love that beautiful tie.
But that is the type of movie. And also, this is maybe a personal thing. I have this annoyance, which is I hate when I tell somebody that I haven't, like, and you probably have this too, where I tell somebody that I don't either like something or I have never done something or I've never seen something, and it like consumes them to like either get me to like that thing or watch that thing. It's like I am a fully autonomous 31-year-old woman with disposable income and free time on my hands. If I wanted to do that thing, I would have already done it.
Yes.
And I don't want to be like bullied into doing it. So a lot of times I feel like I white lie just to like get people off my nuts.
Yes. Honestly, yes. I have that problem, but like because I'm an immigrant. Listen, by the way, I'm an immigrant, but I came here when I was 4 years old.
Right. It's like if you wanted to like watch American Pie, you would have done it.
That's the thing. Like I've never seen Star Wars, for example.
Right.
It is soul crushing to whoever I tell. There's always a person that's like, oh, you've never seen Star Wars? And it's like, who fucking cares? Does that affect you?
Who cares?
I'm over it.
Yeah, I'm over it too. So I'm very pro white lying, especially to like get people off your back.
It's like, you don't have to know everything about me.
I agree. Okay, what's your out?
My out is hating California. It's always the same type of girl who is like living in, no offense if you live here, living in West Hollywood, only hangs out with like influencers and not even big ones. Not even big ones. Like I'm talking, not even big ones. No, because there's a difference.
Yeah.
I'm talking like maybe like 100K followers,
Like
which
people,
is still big.
Like
but
people who are still in the phase of like they will step on your neck to get to that next level.
Yes, yes. And they always post the same shit. They're always like, living here sucks. Like the people suck. No, your bubble and what you've decided to make out of your life here in Los Angeles is what sucks. Like, that's on you.
Yeah.
If you don't like your friends, if you don't like the company you keep, if you don't like the vibes that you're being set into, change it. I had like this thing when I was like 22. I moved here when I was 21, and I liked my friends, but they weren't really like fulfilling me in a sense.
Yeah.
And I had to like look within and be like, why am I not being fulfilled by going to parties every night? Why am I not being fulfilled by like, you know, this random ass attention I was getting, or like people that would like be fake as fuck and like talk behind my back and stuff. And it's like because of the people that I was surrounding myself with. I literally wanted to move out of Los Angeles.
Yeah, I remember.
Because of the people that I was like befriending. So I'm just over people who have lived here for 3 years and are always like, ugh, LA is so annoying. It's like, it's the company you keep, and it's like the stuff that you do for yourself that matters. Anywhere. By the way, this is anywhere. If you lived in fucking Chicago, you'd have the same problem because of the mindset that you're in.
Yeah. It's also such a discredit to the fact that this is like one of the biggest cities in the world. Like, there are so many people. There are so many people that like don't participate in like celebrity and influencer culture. There's such a huge like, you know, blue collar community here, people who have like lived here for decades, and generations of people who are just like normal ass people with normal ass jobs, to like subscribe your weird ass niche ass experience to an entire city is such a discredit. And yeah, it's like every single time I've seen one of those TikToks, it's like, let me tell you why I hate LA. It all started when I went to an after party with
Yes.
It's like,
exactly. And also, by the way, the world is bigger than the west side of Los Angeles.
yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
so I'm sick of that. Every time we see one of those videos, I immediately click not interested.
Yeah, I don't like that stuff. It's like, don't project the fact that like you came here for a very specific like kind of shitty reason and like it didn't work out for you, and like, oh, like shocker, like your 3 influencer friends that you like met online and don't actually know that well ended up not being good roommates.
Don't actually have your back.
I'm shocked. I'm shocked.
Don't blame me for your people pleasing. Don't blame Los Angeles for your people pleasing just mentality. Sorry. My bad. I'm pissed.
I'm pissed.
All right, what's your in and what's your out?
My in is leaving people alone that you don't really like. Like, I feel like I know so many people who don't like love someone. Maybe you're fine. Maybe you have like some mutuals, whatever, your friends on Instagram. And they will constantly be like, we have to hang out. Like, we have to hang out. I would love to get lunch soon. And it's like, no, you don't have to hang out, actually. And you don't really want to. So it's like, stop kind of like leading that person on. Because then that person's going to like text you once a month for the rest of your life and be like, hey, when are we going to catch up? It's like, if you don't like them, stop pretending you do. It's like really not that deep.
Yes. And it's not even like, I think I agree with you, but it's not even like liking them. Like, you can be fine with them, but listen, if you think that you are better with this person in a group, that's fine too.
Yeah. Again, it's like, just then don't consistently be like, we have to hang out one-on-one. Like, I want to get to know you better. Like, why?
We would have already known each other better had that been like a thing that we both wanted.
Why do you need to do that? Or like even little things. Like, I remember back when I had my old podcast, I would have people who I'm like mutuals with online be like, when am I going to be on your podcast? Like, when are you going to have me on your podcast? And then I would like hit them up. I would like text them and be like, yo, like, when do you want to come on? And they would like ghost me, or they would like respond in a way that made it seem like I was like going out of my way, like I really wanted them. And it's like, bitch, you fucking hit me up.
It's also crazy that like somebody would hit you up to be like, when am I going to be on your podcast?
I've had that happen multiple times with like, especially kind of like, you know, influencer-y friends.
Yeah.
My beef is people who are like going out of their way to ask to come on, but don't actually want to be on.
Yeah.
It's
like, why are you saying that?
Why even say that?
Yeah.
You could actually say nothing.
Yeah, I agree.
I've had people literally go out of their way to like respond to stories or like respond to like tweets and be like, I want to be on the show. I'll be like, oh, who do you want to see on the show, to like fans? And then like mutuals will be like, I want to be on. And then I'll hit them up and be like, cool, like, when do you want to come on? And they'll be like, I don't know, man. I'm like so bit. Like, why did you even fucking hit me up? Why did you even say anything in the first place? Like,
I agree.
And then the other reason that's kind of my in is because I have a lot of guy friends, right? And I'm constantly obviously kind of like talking with them about like who they're dating or giving them advice or whatever. Men love to do this thing where they like cannot leave girls alone that they don't like that much. That's one thing I've noticed from having a lot of guy friends. Like the amount of guy friends I have who they'll be like, oh, I stopped talking to this girl because like I realized she really liked me and I wasn't super into it. Great, that's awesome. You cut her off. That's good. And then like a month later, they'll be like, yeah, she hit me up. And I'll be like, why? And they'll be like, oh, we hadn't talked since we broke up, but then I texted her like a picture of something that reminded me of her.
Yeah, yeah.
Why did you do that though?
Honestly, I think that they just want what's easy. Like, I think that like when a man is in a lull in his dating, he's like, what's easy and what have I already had that like will feed my ego.
Or even worse than that, they're not even thinking that deep. They just think it's totally normal to have a passing thought and act on it without even thinking that deep. And I'm like, this little tiny thing that you were like, oh, I'm going to take a picture and send to this girl, and then you're never going to think about the situation again. This poor girl is screenshotting and sending to her girl's group chat and saying, what does this mean?
Oh, they don't know that they don't care about the consequences.
They do not care about the consequences of their actions. I have so many guy friends who will
Have you called them out?
Yes, every time. I have so many guy friends who will do those little bids for attention where it's somebody that they've like cut off and then a month later they'll text them something and then they're shocked when that person like triple texts them or is like, we should catch up again soon. And it's like, you opened the floodgates.
That is so real. And honestly, I used to give it a pass when I was like younger, when I was like in my early 20s. If you're 30 and up doing that, grow up.
Yeah. If you
get a fucking Hinge profile.
If you don't really like someone, leave them alone.
Yeah.
Friendship, dating wise, if you don't really like
a coworker,
a
coworker, you know, listen, I've been a corporate girl. There's coworkers that you just don't really like get along with. You just work well together. You don't need to go and get drinks with them after. You don't need to do the whole spiel. You can just work alongside each other, crack a couple jokes, and go on with your merry day after 5 p.m.
Absolutely. My out is taking things personally.
Yes.
Especially on TikTok. And this stems, and you probably know where this stems from.
This is called growth. I fucking love this.
This stems from our goddamn Libra TikTok that popped off. That TikTok, let me tell you something. Y'all are yapping in the comment section of that. I haven't read one in a month.
I haven't read one in months. I always see like the first 3 words and it's as a Libra moon.
Listen, immediately I'm clicking out.
Listen, I don't give a rat's ass what your sign is.
We are not astrologists. We don't claim to be.
We're just silly.
It's our literally one TikTok out of hundreds about astrology. It was a joke. We are not to be taken seriously. We're also like nobodies right now. Like there is no reason for you to care this much about anything.
Yeah, I think that people specifically like, I forget what artist said that she doesn't make music for cancers. Who said that?
I don't know, but that's so funny.
And I'm a Cancer, and I was like, that's funny. Like
it's okay.
It's not that deep. It's not that deep.
Nothing is that deep. I could literally get served a TikTok that says it could be like short Cuban brunettes who are Tauruses with Gemini moons suck. I still literally do not give a shit.
I think that people just get too like personal when it comes to astrology. They like really think that every video is literally for them.
Yeah.
Like and just targeted to them. Like people think that we made that video for specifically this Libra moon in Ohio. And it's like, we did it to be silly. And also, like, you're kind of proving our points, if I'm being honest.
I will say it's so funny because there are so many Libra moons in those comments that are like, maybe you're just projecting because we're gorgeous and so fucking sexy and friendly and everybody loves to hang out with us. And I'm like, babe, you're proving my fucking point. Jesus Christ.
Listen, that taught us to never comment on astrology ever again if we don't want that fucking smoke.
It's just like, if you are letting a TikTok that is not explicitly about you, if you are letting it bother you so much that you were like in the comments and you're like arguing with people.
You're fighting for your life, dude. You're responding in comments.
If you're fighting for your life, it's like I urge you to try and take TikTok less seriously. Try to take things in your life in general probably like less personally. See how it makes you feel. I think you'll feel lighter.
I agree. And that's that.
And that's that on that.
Should we get into the meat? The meat of this pie?
Don't do that.
What, you don't like this? Let's get into the meat.
Let's get into the meat.
Wait, what kind of pie would you be if you were a pie?
Oh, God.
I'd be blueberry.
Why?
Because I like it.
Fair.
It's sweet and kind.
I have a blueberry pie in the fridge right now from Erewhon. I feel like I would be maybe, I don't know what I am. I don't know who I am.
You're Sprite pie from the 70s.
What the fuck is that?
They used to put Sprite and gelatin and put it in a pie. Is that a white lie? I don't know.
Why is that me?
No, because you pack a punch.
I don't know if I want to be Sprite pie.
Oh my God. Just try it. Give it a chance.
You're riding so hard for Sprite pie.
I don't even know if that's a thing, actually.
Sprite pie is crazy.
Are you having a better day? Take a deep breath.
You sound like my therapist.
Yeah.
Shout out Katrina. Let's start off this episode by let's talk about our personal journeys with glow ups. What does your glow up journey looked like?
Okay, so I think that glow ups can be categorized in like a couple different ways. Like it can be like a personal glow up, it can be like a physical glow up,
Yeah.
a mental health glow up, whatever.
Yeah.
Just an act of becoming better.
Yeah, financial glow up.
Yeah, financial glow up, just an act of being a better version than what you were.
Yeah.
And wanting to do that like intentionally.
Yeah.
I've had a few. I am somebody who like loves a fucking glow up.
Me too.
Oh, I love change.
Yeah.
I love like just picking at something and being like, I want to change that.
Yeah.
So for me, I feel like my glow up hasn't really started. And you know what's crazy? I was thinking about this the other day. You know how you were saying that your glow up didn't super start until you were like 28 or so?
Yeah, definitely. 29.
At 20, I'm 29 now, and I feel like I'm now kind of stepping into that and being like, ooh, who do I want to be in my cheeky little 30s?
Saturn return vibes.
Yeah. And it's like, it's really exciting because I'm seeing all these things that I want to change about myself, but it's not negative. It's just things that I'm like, oh, I like this about myself, but I could be doing this a little bit better or like a little bit different or whatever. So I don't necessarily think that a glow up is negative at all. I actually think it's just like a rebrand. I've had a couple glow ups. I'm going through one right now. So like we were saying earlier, I'm not the mayor of glow ups, but I'm definitely a candidate. Like I'm in the election. I'm like a little box on the stub. I would say that my glow up is more about confidence and how I show up for myself. But also a little physical. So you might see me acting out a little bit this summer. What about you?
Well, wait, I want some more elaboration. Like, what are some things? Let's go non-physical first. What are some things where you're like, this, I could glow up this aspect?
Well, I actually sat with you, or I texted you a couple weeks ago, and I was like, be honest and be so honest. What can I change about myself that you, as my best friend, have seen? And I was mainly asking like physically.
Yeah.
And you delivered. You weren't mean. You were honest, and you delivered. And I said, okay, true.
That is my favorite thing about our friendship is that we want it, we will be very honest with each other.
I welcome constructive criticism.
Me too.
I think that it's why I have people in my life, honestly. Personally, I think that I've stopped like a lot of tendencies that I used to have as far as like people pleasing. We talk about that all the time. I also will say that I've started to like really think about if I like something or if I'm just doing it because somebody else wants me to do it. And really honing in on like, well, what does Gabby like? What does Gabby prefer? What do I want to wear that's not online? And what is my personal style? That's something that I've really honed in on. Personal style vibes. I feel like I'm on top of my skincare shit right now. Mental health.
Yeah.
I think I'm like demanding things that I've never demanded before. Physically, we'll go into physically in a bit. But yeah, I feel like I'm on this journey and it feels good. It feels like I'm elevating every day.
I love that.
I feel like you're not on the glow up journey. I feel like you've glowed up.
Ish, yeah.
You don't feel that way?
I think physically, yes. I still think I'm kind of like in it. I feel like I'm the kind of person who is like always sort of like wanting more of a glow up. And
well, I think that's normal though. I don't think that you like glow up and then you're like, okay, I glowed.
Well, maybe that would be healthier in some aspects. Like for me specifically, I think I had one friend call me out one time and it was such a good call out, but I don't even actually remember who did it. But basically they were like, you do this funny thing where whenever like something big is coming up, whether it's like a birthday or maybe some big event or a big party or even something even more broad like summer, you feel the need to like give yourself a makeover, like a full makeover. Like you'll like start going to like tanning beds or go like get filler or like change your hair, get a big haircut or like whatever the case is. And I think it's a double-edged sword. I think it's good to always kind of like be striving for better and sort of be conscious of like who you are and how you maybe can improve. I also think sometimes I take it too far, and I feel like there's like always a constant need for improvement.
But I do think that you're more leaning in the middle now. You're like more aware of like, oh, I don't need to change that. That would be nice, but like I'm beautiful.
Yeah, I think that there's just like there is like a healthy place where it's like it's just not all consuming all the time how you can be better. And I have had phases where I was all consuming, and I do feel like I'm a little bit better now. But I'd say like on the less physical side, that's been something for me, is just kind of like being happy where I am, even if like in the back of my mind I know there are things I want to change, like accepting that those changes don't have to come immediately, and sort of just like living in the moment a little bit more, which can be kind of hard for me. So that's been like a non-physical thing I think I've been working on. And then also just like not letting other people affect me. Like I think that a lot of times I can be very like, if something bothers me that somebody's done, somebody that's like hurt you or Kellen or even me, or somebody that like I just like personally don't fuck with, I have an issue with sort of like letting them bother me more than they should. But yeah, so those are, I feel like, a few things that I've been like, I guess, glowing up non-physically.
Where do you think that the want or desire to glow up comes from? Like, I feel like it kind of happens to me overnight sometimes, where I'm like, oh, I need to change something. So where do you think that desire comes from?
I think, for me at least, there are like good and bad origins to glowing up. I think on the bad side, a lot of it times for me, it's like just striving for this like idea of perfection. And that's sort of like what I'm trying to work on that side, is like, am I glowing up because I feel like this will like improve my life, or am I doing it because I'm trying to achieve some sort of like look or vibe that I think is like better suited for, you know what I mean, presenting myself to the world or whatever.
Yeah.
And then on like the positive side, you know, I think it's like we are very lucky with the people we keep in our lives. I think all of our friends and like our partners all like bring incredible like personality traits and aspects to the table, and not even personality wise, even looks wise. Like Ryan, you know, is such a good dresser and dresses for himself and never thinks about like what other people are going to think. If he likes it, like he's wearing it. And like
Very true.
He also puts a lot of like effort into his style. And you know, Kellen is like unabashedly honest. If he feels some way, like he is saying it. Like I think we have so many like people in our lives that are push us to like want to be our best selves.
Yeah,
like I feel like I see aspects of like you or Ryan or Kellen or Beth or whatever, and that almost motivates me a lot of times to glow up. Like I'll see like Beth's work ethic, or your like, you know what I mean, ability to like have so many like incredible like relationships in your like interpersonal life or whatever the case is, and be like, oh, I want to be more like that.
Yeah. I think it's easier to glow up when you have company that you keep around you that you strive to be more like, or to you see them and you're like, oh, they're killing it in this aspect, and if they're killing it, I could too.
Exactly. Positive role models. Like I think positive role models shouldn't end when you're a kid. I think it's important to always have positive role models, even as an adult. And I think that that's like one thing I really love about the people I keep around me, are they're all positive role models.
I think that it's important to look at the people in your life when you're going through a glow up, and see if the people are serving you or aren't serving you throughout that process, because changing changes everything,
Including the people around you.
Like let's say you one day decided you just wanted to try to be prettier, and it was just like a personal thing. There will be people in your life that are like, who are you doing this for? Like, what is this all about? Like, are you okay? Instead of just supporting that journey. And I think it's important to really pay attention to the little whispers and the little that you hear when you're going through your glow up process.
Absolutely. Like starting a business, I think, is a big part of that too. People can get very weird about somebody like pursuing their dreams.
Yes.
Putting themselves out there. It makes, frankly, insecure people very uncomfortable.
Yes.
That's one thing that I feel like I've had to battle with a lot, is like, you know, in the past year and a half, things like exponentially changed for me in a lot of ways, like physically, financially, like my life essentially did like a 180, and it was really obvious who
couldn't take it.
Who couldn't take it.
Yeah, I remember you going through that period of your life, and while I wasn't at that same level, I think that like, you know, that happens. That's like you just support people throughout their journey. But I remember not even realizing or clocking that people were being like that to you until the end.
Yeah.
And how like lonely that must have felt for you because you were going through that process and you wanted support and it was new to you.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It was new to you. You had never done this thing before. You'd never experienced these experiences before. And to, on top of that, feel uncomfortable in your new experiences and then not even have the support.
Yeah. And the thing is, it's always like low key, right? It's rare that like you have a
Yeah.
friend who doesn't like some phase you're in and they're like, I'm jealous and insecure and I don't like this. You know what I mean? It's always these like nuanced, low key little ways. And yeah, you almost feel like gaslit and being like, wait, am I changing? Or are other people changing? Am I perceiving this wrong? Like one of the funniest ones for me was, we had a conversation about this and we were laughing over it. When I started making a different amount of money than I had ever made in the past, you know, it's like when you're young and all of our friends are like around the same age. And so it's like, you know, we sort of like dream together, right?
Yep.
Like one day we're going to do this. One day we're going to be bigger. One day we're going to be, you know, own a house, do this, whatever, all these little things. And I think one thing I really like about all of our friends is that we all really strive for more. We all really want to be like very successful and stuff like that. Doesn't mean we want to be like billionaires or like, you know what I mean? Become like the, you know, the bad guys. But it's like we all want more for ourselves. And I think a lot of that's like because of like where we've come from. And all of a sudden, the second I started getting more for myself, it's like these weird low-key comments where it'd be like, I actually don't care about like making money anymore. Like I actually don't think it's like a good thing. Like I don't need to have a lot of money. And I didn't need to have a lot of money. It kind of just happened to me. But all of a sudden it was like those weird low-key things where it was like, I actually don't care about those things anymore. And it was like, well, yeah, I would gaslight myself into being like, oh, should I like not be stoked that I like can afford things now?
Can I talk about my experience?
Or can I even talk about my experience, or does it come off like braggy or weird, or are we just growing apart? Like weird little nuanced things that.
You can tell when somebody is like, even subconsciously, when somebody doesn't super back you, when like something big happens to you and like the news doesn't match the energy that they're giving you back.
Yes, on anything.
Yeah.
Like it could be like, I got a promotion, I got a new car, like you know, whatever the case is, I made a new friend, the littlest thing.
You know what's crazy? I just got like the biggest news of my fucking life, like yesterday, literally. And I was so happy because everyone that I told really fucking hyped me up.
Yeah.
Like really hyped me up. It felt like, I told Ryan, it felt like it was my birthday. And that just like proved to me that I do have like the right people in my life right now. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And it's like it's one of those things too where it's like it's low key, but you can tell when somebody's like not stoked for you.
And listen, sometimes that person might not even be malicious. That person might not even be a bad person. Yeah. Sometimes it's subconscious and it's the thing that they feel within themselves and they can't really support or back your journey right now. And that's on them. And you have to like, again, to your point, to your out, you can't like take that stuff so personally sometimes, especially if you know the person and you're confused about why they're being this way. That's their own journey and you have to just live your truth and fucking glow up. Glow up, baby.
Glow up. If people can't handle your glow up, then they're not right for you.
If you don't deserve me, if you don't back me in my glow up, you don't deserve me. What?
What? You just whatting yourself.
What did I just say?
It was crazy.
Whoa. That was crazy. Okay.
I know what you meant. We all know what you meant.
I hope. Sometimes sometimes I feel like this podcast has taught me to like, sometimes I shouldn't say stuff. Like sometimes like I just like say shit and I'm like, that was an interesting thing to say. When do you think peak glow up time is? Is it like New Year's? Is it summer? Is it just whenever the fuck you feel like it? Because I feel like it's whenever you feel like it.
Well, I feel like for me, it's like, this is like a strong way to put it, but it's like you have to almost hit a little bit of like a rock bottom. Like I feel like one day you wake up and you're just like frustrated with the way things have been and you're like, I'm ready to change them. And sometimes it takes a long time. Like I feel like I'll go through phases where I'm like, I want to be really good about skincare. I want to be really good about working out. I want to be really good at self-care. But it takes up until I'm like on a walk with a friend and I'm out of breath in 5 minutes to be like, all right, it's time to take this seriously.
Yeah. You'll have the idea in your mind, but you won't execute it until you're at that moment where you're like, this is too much.
Yeah, and you just know when that is. It's like, oh, okay, it's time. It's time.
Yeah. And honestly, I feel like glow ups sometimes can be a little bit scary, but it also doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be an overnight thing. It can just be little habits that you start sticking to, and that's a glow up in itself.
Yeah, definitely.
It doesn't have to be like a 180 thing.
No, and like maybe eventually it will be. Like I feel like even with my stuff, it's like I look back 2 years ago and it feels like a 180 now, but it has been incremental over the past 2 years.
Yeah. And some people won't understand your journey, but that's not for them to understand. That's for you to live.
Yeah, exactly.
Damn, is that a Bob Marley quote?
He ate with that.
I love saying things from past podcasts and bringing them back around.
Yeah, we're at that phase now where we can have inside jokes with the
That's
listeners.
so cute.
Love that for us.
By the way, just a quick side note. The amount of reviews that we've gotten, are you kidding me?
Yeah, we really asked for it in the last episode. We were at, what were we at?
39.
39, and now we're at like 82.
That's crazy.
Y'all really did that for us.
Okay, I think that we should talk about the rules of a glow up.
The rules? Okay.
I have a couple rules.
What are they?
Feel free to add on. Can you say the rules of a glow up in like a cool voice? Like the rules of glow up, like to cue it in.
Rules for a glow up.
That was good. That was like a cool girl. It's like, yeah, I have some rules.
I got some rules.
Okay. My rule number 1 for a good glow up.
Okay.
You have to be honest with yourself, meaning negatively and positively.
Elaborate.
Sometimes we're our own harshest critic. Sometimes we judge ourselves way too much.
Yeah, you're preaching to the choir.
And sometimes I'll see something in the mirror and you or Ryan won't know what I'm talking about. And I know you two are honest with me. And I just have to accept the fact that that's not part of my glow up journey. Sometimes like something I make into a big deal isn't really a big deal. And maybe I should focus on a different aspect of it. So like, for example, right now I'm going through like a weight loss thing. And I should just accept my body for how it is right now, but still work towards my goals. But that doesn't mean that I should hate my body in its current moment. So learning those things and like not judging myself as harshly and just experiencing the journey as opposed to just waiting for the end result.
Yeah.
And then when it comes to like negatively, I think that you should do those things that I was saying earlier where you like ask someone that you really trust, like, what do you think that I could get better at?
Yeah. And also like, I don't know, it's with physical stuff, I think it's hard because I do think there's like a fine line between, you know, real, true sort of like earnest improvements and like falling into perfectionism or social media or like Instagram face or whatever. I have a really hard time teetering that line. But if you do feel like you want to improve the way you look physically, yeah, like finding a safe space, like you know what I mean? We've done that for each other where it's like, what can I improve? And if you're asking the right person, like me, for example, it's like, I have love goggles for you. I think you're like beautiful. I do not see flaws on you the way I see like flaws on myself, but I can actually sit there and take the time to think about like, oh, what do I think could maybe like make her feel more confident and like give you a real answer.
Yeah. Do you want to know my rule number 2?
Yes.
Rule number 2. It's okay to be cringy or miss the mark during your glow up journey. You will not nail your glow up right away, and you have to be okay with that. You have to be okay with trying new things out and stepping outside of your comfort zone, or else you'll never glow up properly. Yeah. I think. And I think that it's important to like be nice to yourself throughout that process because this is a new thing for you. And like, let's say you like started self-tanning and you got like orange streaks on you.
Yeah.
Whatever, you learned. And like,
you're trying.
Yeah, just do better next time. Or like, let's say you tried to text somebody a boundary and it didn't really work. Whatever, you're trying.
Yeah, things aren't going to be perfect every time. You know, this is a really, really funny example of that, but it works. I saw this video the other day, and it was like some really, really, really unflattering photos of Lisa Rinna. Like,
Oh, I saw.
Have you seen?
On the red carpet?
On the red carpet, like fully overfilled and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, the comments, of course, are like eating her alive. The top comment is Lisa Rinna being like, oh, yeah, that was like this beauty procedure I tried. Did not work. Had to get it dissolved a month later. And it's like, how cool that in a sea of people being mean, where like your inclination is probably to like double down and be like, that's not whatever, blah, blah, blah. It's like they were like, yeah, I looked pretty bad there. I tried some new thing and like it was like not for me and I got it dissolved. It's like, it's okay, like you said, to miss the mark and try something and then be like, oh, that wasn't really for me. Like,
And you know what? Most times Lisa Rinna looks hot.
I love Lisa Rinna.
I love Lisa Rinna.
You could never make me hate her.
Speaking of a white liar, love her.
Yes. Our cancer queen.
Is she a Cancer?
Yeah,
Oh,
I think.
I love that. I love that for me. Okay, my last one is beware of secret haters. We already touched on this one, but yeah, your company changes when you are changing something in your life, whether it's you got a promotion, a new house, you lost some weight, your skin got better, anything where you're glowing up, your relationships and friendships will change, even if slightly.
Unfortunately, every single person I know, whether it was like a financial glow up or like a big weight loss glow up or like a beauty glow up or even like a love glow up. Like I have friends who were historically really bad at dating. They find the love of their life. People change. I don't know. People can be uncomfortable with glow ups. Everybody I know who has had a really, really successful glow up in any capacity has unfortunately lost some friends along the way.
But I just realized, what's the key connector to all these people who are secret haters, maybe don't even know, is that they're not on their own glow up journey.
Yeah.
If you're on your own shit and you're on your own journey of whatever change means to you, you are not worried about what so-and-so is doing. You are worried about how you can, have that aspect that you're loving about the person in your life, or B, like you're just focused on your own shit.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. And then I was thinking about, and I'm so into this glow up journey right now because I am going through mine.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I have so much to say about it.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about it's so easy to talk about a glow up and to offer these helpful hints or whatever, but let's talk about okay, if somebody is watching this and they're like, you know what, I think it's time for a glow up.
Yeah.
How do I even start? It's so much easier to just watch this podcast, click stop, and then go about your day and not think about how to have a proper glow up.
Yeah. Or you are in the slightly next phase where you save it because you're like, oh, I'll get around to that.
Yeah.
And you don't.
Exactly. Oh, I'm such a getting around to that kind of gal. My TikTok collections is just glow up tips.
I have a lot of glow up tips in mine too.
Oh, we should post our favorite glow up tips. Okay. So I came up with this thing that we should do where there's tiers to a glow up. There's ways that you can glow up, but some are expensive. Some are just way too out of people's budgets.
Completely, yeah.
And some can be free and some can be in that middle ground.
Yeah.
So let's start with the highest tier of things that you can do to glow up, but that's gonna cost you a pretty penny.
Yeah.
And then we'll work down.
Yeah.
Lasers. Straight up just lasers, facials.
Yeah. I think anything like that where it's a little bit, not only is it a little bit expensive, but you have to kind of keep up regularly.
Yeah.
And that could even be something that's not necessarily going to change the way you are physically. I feel regularly going to the doctor is hard. A lot of people don't have health insurance. That's an important thing though. Or
Therapy.
Going to therapy or going to see a psychiatrist to get on medication, or even just getting massages, going to see a chiropractor. All that stuff can be really, really helpful for a glow up, but there's a barrier to entry, and that barrier to entry is money.
Literally, I want a lymphatic massage so bad, but I saw the prices online and I was like,
A what?
a lymphatic massage?
Oh yeah, I got one recently and it was really nice.
And I'm sure it's so nice, but
it was expensive.
Yeah.
And she was like, you should come back for this every 2 months, which isn't that crazy.
No.
But it's does everybody have $300 every 2 months? So, $150 extra a month. That's that's a bill right there.
Yeah, exactly. And then on top of that, let's say you get your nails done and
Exactly.
that's not your only bill. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's a little bit harder, but if you do have that cash where you can just do those things, those are for sure great options.
Yeah.
Botox, filler, how long does Botox last?
It
6
depends
months?
it depends on the person, but anywhere from 3 months to 8 months, depending on how fast your body, gets rid of it.
Do you want to talk about facial balancing?
Yeah, so that's one of those things. And again, this is one of those glow up things. It's like maybe your glow up journey doesn't include physical, and maybe even if it does, it more includes like, I guess like holistic self improvement vibes. But if you are interested in like Botox filler, facial balancing, I think is a really, really good kind of like entry level.
So what is it? Like I've seen TikToks about it, but like, do you just go in and you say what would you fix?
Yeah, a lot of times it's like, especially if you're on the younger side, it's like for me, for example, I have been making online content for 10 years. I have access to front facing cameras since I was probably like 16, 17,
Yeah. You
whatever.
see everything.
I've seen my face so much, I almost don't really know what it looks like anymore. And so it is kind of nice, if you're looking for it, to be able to go to somebody who can almost like mathematically look at your face. You know what I mean?
Unbiased opinion.
An unbiased opinion of somebody who's almost taking like the science of it and not just being like, oh, well, you should do Fox eyes because Fox eyes are in right now. And being like, oh, like I noticed that you have, in my example, like I have a very like long oval face. So a lot of times what they'll do is they'll do a little bit of like filler in your jaw and like in your temples to almost like round it out a little bit more. Like little things like that where you're not changing your face. You
don't come out of the place looking insanely different.
No, you just look almost like a little bit balanced. Or for example, like most women sleep on the left side of their face. That's like a fun little fact.
Yeah.
And so oftentimes that's like our bad side. And that is not just like in our heads. It is a little vapid, but it's not in your head. Like if you sleep on one side for 20 years, that side is going to look a little bit worse. And like my side is worse on that side. My eye is a little bit droopier.
Me with my right side.
My skin is less tight. Little things like that.
Yeah.
And so being able to kind of be like, oh, you don't need like a full facelift, but on this side, like if we lift it up just a tiny bit, you just like look a little bit more balanced.
Ooh, I love that.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay. Well, I feel like stuff like that is also like a little bit healthier than just going to a place where they're just like doing whatever you want to do. You know what I mean?
Going based off of trends. You know what I mean? Also, I think that there is like lesser ways to achieve these things that we're talking about until you can like save up for them. So for example, it's like if you notice that one side of your face is like your bad side and you don't have the money yet for facial balancing, like focus on gua shaing that side more.
Yeah.
And be really, really good about doing it every single night. Like if you are in a place where like getting manicures every week isn't for you, like investing one time on Amazon and learning how to give yourself a really good makeover.
Yeah. That brings us to our middle tier.
Yeah.
Which is like perfect. You said it perfectly. Like gua sha. I also saw this like pillow that you sleep on where it like makes your neck not go left and right.
Oh, interesting.
So you sleep just like you sleep on your back, and that way your face just like doesn't have the droopiness that we typically see.
Which also, in my opinion, this is the most important tier because I've always been sort of like I'm a big throw money at the situation kind of girl. In general, even if I don't have money, it's like I'll throw that on a credit card. And one big aspect of my glow up in the past year that I've noticed was I was doing all of these things that were like instant gratification, whether it was a big Sephora haul or going and getting, Botox and filler and doing these things, but I wasn't doing the actual glow up work.
Yeah.
I wasn't focusing on my skincare. I was really lazy about like taking my makeup off. And it's like, what's the point of doing all these things that are like expensive that you're throwing money at if you're not even upkeeping them?
Yep.
And it's like, I have felt so much prettier if I have a full week where I am not lazy and I get off my ass and I work out every single day and I do my skincare routine at night.
You feel better.
No matter how tired I am, and I do a hair mask and I make sure I'm like always like moisturized and that I have my little cuticle oil and those like little things that aren't expensive but they do require time and effort. Those make me feel exponentially better than the times where I've gone and spent $200 at Sephora or gone and got filler and Botox. Like that upkeep is so much nicer and less expensive.
Yeah, and I feel like especially in America, there's this problem of like instant gratification, like you were saying, and not really putting in the work. I, for one, I'm so fucking happy that I started wearing SPF when I was 20.
Yep.
That is the one thing my mom was like, you're not going to want to not do that. And I feel like now I'm seeing people in my life and maybe they've never worn SPF in their life. And I'm like, oh, No, I'm not even speaking about you. I'm speaking about like people who their skin just looks tired
Yeah.
and dehydrated and wrinkly, and they're my age. And like those things are so preventative with just a simple step.
Yeah.
And if you just put in that work of like showing your skin a little love, it makes such a difference.
Yeah. And there are so many good tiers now of quality skincare at different prices. Like The Ordinary is a good example
Yeah.
of a skincare brand that like people
I
love.
love The Ordinary.
And there is a very low barrier to entry price wise.
The niacinamide at The Ordinary, which reduces hyperpigmentation on your skin, is $6.
Yeah.
Like, come on. I'm also gonna say like vitamins are so important. I have noticed a difference in my energy.
Yeah.
I've noticed a difference in my skin, in just every way. In my sleep from vitamins.
Yep.
What are your favorite vitamins?
I mean, for me personally, so there's this brand called Eucora, and it's specifically for like vaginal health. So if you struggle, with chronic vaginal things, UTIs, yeast infections, you take it every single day. It's like a preventative, and it's just like, essentially it's like a glorified probiotic, but then there are a couple other really good things in there. Has literally changed my life. I went from getting 10, 15 UTIs a year to I don't even remember the last time I had one. At least a year.
That's incredible.
That's like a huge one for me. Probiotics in general is a huge one for me. You got me on to Alice. I've been taking mushrooms every day, and that's been really, really helpful for like my general mood. I am big on my omega-3s.
Yeah.
And magnesium has been super great for me too. I don't have a problem sleeping, so I don't take it at night, but it's really helpful for me during the day. It helps me focus.
I take magnesium glycinate at night before bed. It puts me to sleep like no other. I feel like, and also like, you could take what we're saying and write these all down and take them, but I think it's important to focus on like what you specifically think that you need. Like, for example, when I was always working on my computer, I wasn't getting enough vitamin D, so I started taking vitamin D. As women, we're naturally deficient in vitamin D.
Yeah.
And also as Americans, we only get around like, I think it's like 17% of the sun that we should get around.
That's crazy.
In our entire lifetime. So vitamin D is a perfect one. But you should focus on like things that you think that you specifically aren't killing it in, and do your research. TikTok, I found so much information on TikTok, and then going on articles and then asking my doctor and taking certain tests that show me what I'm deficient in. So do your research on like what specifically your body needs before just trusting two girls on a podcast.
Yeah.
But we're telling you that like these things are important. Just do your own research, which is kind of like skincare too. Like, I think it's so insane that people just post their skincare routines on TikTok sometimes, because I'm like, as a skincare enthusiast, skincare is so personal.
Yeah.
And there's 4 or 5 different types of skin types, and you can't just like, we can't follow each other's routine. Yeah. I'm combination skin, you're normal skin. Like, it's just going to be a different routine. So really focusing on like what kind of skincare you need, as opposed to just following a hot girl's skincare routine online, I think will like aid in your glow up journey exponentially.
Yeah. And I also think that too, like, hold yourself to your own standard. I feel like I've oftentimes fallen into like buying things or buying into certain lifestyle habits because I thought that the person that was feeding me that advice was beautiful. And it's like, if a model tells you that they take so and so every day because it like makes their skin glowy, yeah, that might work for you, but I'm telling you, I'm gonna be real with you, you're not gonna wake up in a month and look like that model. That's not the way life works.
No.
And it's like the amount of like beauty products I've bought, hair products I've bought, like in general things that I have bought because I was like, oh, this model's doing it, and I will like achieve a look that is closer to that model if I do it. That's like not the way it works. So I think it's so important, like you said, to like find routines that work for like you and your specific needs.
Yeah, we're all so different, and it would be a waste of money and a waste of time to just follow what somebody online is saying. So do your own research. Also trims. I feel like hair care is so in this year.
Yeah.
Hair masks, hair oiling. You're on the hair oiling shit.
Yeah. When my hair looks good, I'm in a better mood. Even if I'm like, have a little breakout or I'm not wearing makeup. It's like, unfortunately, hair it runs our life. It's, you know what I mean? It's like,
but you also feel good. Like, even like, yeah, it runs our life, but when you feel good or when you look good, I feel like you feel good.
Yeah, I mean, I would love for my hair to not run my life. either way. I don't want to be like a prisoner to my hair, but unfortunately, like for like femme women, we are a little bit of a prisoner to our hair.
Yeah.
So, but taking the time to, you know, be like, well, this is life. I'm gonna do the hair mask. I'm gonna get the blowout. I'm gonna get the trim, whatever.
I literally just started taking care of my hair like a month ago. Like straight up. I didn't like do anything. I think also like when you have curly hair, it's like a little bit different where it's like you can't brush your hair when it's dry and you have to like do specific things, and sometimes you're just like,
I don't want to do all that.
I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So for a long time, I didn't.
Yeah. And that makes sense. Like, it's like I said, hair is a prison, and curly hair especially, it's like my hair's not near as curly as yours, and your hair's not near as curly as some people's. It's like I've seen people really struggle, like, or just put their hair up for years because they're just like, I just don't want to deal with this.
Yeah. And it causes damage in the end,
Yeah.
which is annoying. Also, this is like a crazy tip, but like cleaning your ears, like cleaning like this part of your ear and like this part of your ear is so important for upkeep, because it just like when you look clean and you smell good, you're just like giving off a different vibe. You know what I mean? Lastly, for free, I think it's good to like look at celebrities that you look like or body types that you like and see how they dress and incorporate that with clothes that you already have.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Gua sha is good, and also like hydration.
That's a good one, is just like the way you eat.
Yes,
and the way that you hydrate. Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like you're on your protein shit lately.
Yeah.
Walking is so good. There's so much that you can do to like glow up. You don't need to spend like a shit ton of money for. You can just start small, and I just urge you to like make a list of like things you want to change, and then like also things that you can afford right now.
Even mentally, like I feel like the people I know that are like the prettiest are because they're like light mentally, like they're not stressed all the time, like maybe like doing a social media cleanse, like, you know what I mean, unfollowing influencers that make you feel insecure, like those things are free, and you don't think that they affect the way you look, but they for sure do.
Yeah, the most beautiful people I know are so unbothered.
Yeah, exactly. They're
so
unbothered. And becoming unbothered, you know, obviously sometimes you need a little professional help, but like it starts with the free stuff. It starts with being on social media less, like journaling, meditating, like those things. Yeah.
Walking has been insane for
Walking
me.
is huge.
Yeah,
Walking.
it's like
Helen's
meditation.
always trying to get me to take walks, and I'm always refusing, and when I actually do it, I'm like, that was so easy, and I feel 20% better. If
you go on your own glow up journey, keep us in the loop. All right, this was a great episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Keep leaving us reviews, likes, comments. Tell us what you want to see, and
keep loving us, worshiping us, adoring us.
Yes, just enjoy us and take us for what we are.
Enjoy us.
Love you guys.
Bye.